Yes. Welcome back to episode 345 of the Purple Rain podcast. The Brennan Byer, Lamont Brightful, Corey Harris, DeAndre Houston, Carson, Christian
Ooh.
Matthew, Mike Green, and rest in peace, Jalen Ferguson episode of the Purple Rain podcast. It is a preview edition, Thursday edition. We have the Chicago Bears coming to town to Baltimore Sunday, 1 o'clock. Ravens wearing their black jerseys, white pants. Looking forward to that. But we have a lot to preview. Got a good team coming here on a 4-game winning streak, and the Ravens team who just cannot get a win, it feels like. But Sutton has some good news this week. So how are we feeling? How's the week going?
Week is going well. I'm feeling a lot more optimistic than I have been in the last couple of preview episodes. I'll say that, for Thursday. I am really, really excited to see what this Ravens team has to offer coming out of the bye. Like you said, a surging Chicago Bears team right now who is on a 4-game win streak. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one at the bank. But again, needless to say, man, I'm excited just like many other Ravens fans are as well. But I'm doing good, man.
Yes, actually, that's good. So we have, like I said, the 4-game winning streak Bears, and here we have, it's Boz, Yo Rain Gang in the chat. Hello, sir, Mr. Steeler fan himself. CH Bro 464 Evening Gang. Good evening to you. And then my guy Sam, 10-1 streak. Here we go. See, me and Sam, we're a bit delusional, and I like it. All right, we think the Ravens can go on this crazy run. We're setting ourselves up to get hurt, but it's fine. We have fun while we're doing it. But like you said, got some guys back, and the I-word report for the Ravens looking a lot better this week, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely looking a whole lot better. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, we were looking at a full laundry list, like literally like half the team was hurt. But now coming out of the bye, it seems like the health is tilting back towards the right direction, which is what you want to hear as a Ravens fan. So again, guys, listen, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get right into what we came in here to get to today. We got the preview coming up in just a few minutes. But first and foremost, the Ravens made a move today. Right? And by the way, if you're in here already, like the video, subscribe to the channel as well, all that good stuff. But the Ravens made a move today, a move that was kind of expected. I don't think it's the end all be all type of move from Eric DeCosta, but let me just go ahead and say and break the news to you guys who don't know already. But the Ravens today went ahead and they signed outside linebacker Carl Lawson to this Ravens team to kind of help bolster that pass rush, to kind of fill the void of Atavius Robinson, who's going to be out for the foreseeable future with a broken foot. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into that. Alex, what did you think when you saw this move happen by the Ravens earlier today?
I mean, kind of expected. We talked about it on Monday. He was here for a workout. We obviously need guys at the edge rush position, outside linebacker position. 5 sacks last year with the Cowboys. When you're playing with Micah Parsons, does make your life a little easier. But his last full year, I believe, was with the Jets. Put up, I think, 7 sacks that year. So that's good to see. But on the practice squad now, let's be real. I'm not expecting anything crazy from him, but a body. And I think he will be better than what we have, i.e. David Ojabo right now. And we'll jump him on the depth chart. So I guess I like it. I mean, I can't really love it or I can't hate it because we need him. I'm not going to love it because it's just kind of, it's a guy. Unfortunately, it's a Jag right now.
You really think it's just a jag? I mean, I don't. I disagree. I think that this guy can come in and be a rotational piece that actually contributes to this defense. I mean, they talked about earlier today, Zach Gore was at the podium. He was talking about, what this defense needs to do coming out, right? And he said that over the bye week, they spent a whole lot of time coming up with a pressure plan, blitzes and other things to try to get more pressure on the quarterback, right? And I think that if you bring in a guy like a Carl Lawson, did you say he was on the practice squad, by the way?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So they'll probably go ahead and elevate him sooner than later, if I had to guess. But when they do get him in the rotation, I don't expect him to be a 3-down guy, right? But I do expect him to be in the pass rushing scenarios and things like that. And based off of what I saw on the tape, again, 5 sacks in Dallas last year. You know what I mean? And nobody picked this guy up. I know he's been banged up a little bit. He's also a former AFC North player. He played with the Bengals a couple of years ago before he hurt his shoulder, and they got rid of him. But I think that this could be a good piece. This could be a solid piece. I'm not going to say he's going to, do the same things that, a Yannick Ngakoue or a Justin Houston was able to do for us, coming in midseason, those type of guys. But I'm excited to see what Carl Lawson does. I think he's violent at the point of attack. He's a big guy. He has a big frame. That's the thing that excites me the most about Carl Lawson. He has a big frame. And the thing that I think that the Ravens are missing is a big body on that edge. Look at a Mike Green, for example. Ravens second round pick, highly touted coming out of the draft, coming out of Marshall, 17 and a half sacks last year. But I said that I think he's massively undersized for the NFL, right? He's going to come into the NFL. These tackles are going to push him around, things like that. And that's exactly what's been happening. If not that, he's dropping back into coverage because of what Zach Orr is calling, right? But with a guy like Carl Lawson coming in, I think he is going to be able to bully tackles here and there. I'm not saying like literally every third down that he's on the field, but he is going to be able to push guys back into the quarterback's lap and not allow them to just kind of sit back there, pat the ball, and have all day to throw, right? So I think, again, at the end of the day, I think it's a net positive that the Ravens got it, went ahead and got a Carl Lawson. Do I think it's the end all be all move that's going to totally swing the pendulum back towards the Ravens being a dominant defense? No, I don't. But I do think it's a start. There's still a couple more, about a week and some change left until the trade deadline. So we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, we have 2 games before that trade deadline, and like you said, like I said, actually, I'm not really like that gung ho about it because there's a reason he was out there available. Getting old AFC North guys, might as well get Carlos Dunlap, Brett Kiesel, maybe Phil Taylor as well. Typical ADC defensive line move, but I guess we'll probably see him for the Dolphins game next week. That probably is safe to say he won't be up this week for the
Yeah.
game. And as for this week in the game, I'm looking to see what happens with Tyler Huntley now because we'll know really soon whether or not Lamar Jackson will play on Sunday. Kind of segueing into the I Word report and the preview. Lamar's back in practice, limited the past 2 days. Obviously not full, but still good news he's back in practice. But we do kind of have a little bit of a question mark because if he doesn't play, Tyler Huntley gets moved up, and then you have to elevate him, I believe, to your main roster. So pulling up the I Word report now for the Ravens, everybody was full except for Lamar, and then DeAndre Hopkins had the illness. He'll be playing, so everybody's fine in that BF. But I'm looking at the Bears. And
Okay.
I'm looking at their did not practice.
Uh huh.
Backup running back Roshan Johnson, lineman
Mm,
Braxton Jones, Cole Kmet tight end, and Joe Tooney did not practice rest. But even yesterday, DeAndre Swift limited. Tyreek Stevenson did not practice. They're kind of like us. We were a couple weeks ago. They're banged up, not in their big premium position, but guys all around contributors to this team banged up for the Bears.
yeah. Definitely look like the Bears are kind of stumbling into this one. Again, 4-game win streak, but they're a little bit beat up right now. And we'll get into our keys to victory in just a little bit. But I personally think that this Bears team is absolutely there to be had by the Ravens. There's a reason why these Ravens are favored by 6 points right now. It was 6.5 earlier this week, but right now it's sitting at 6 even, -6. I think that's a good line, because I think, again, I don't want to get into my keys to victory just yet and what I think that the Ravens need to do to beat the Bears. And make sure you stick around for that. But I think that this Bears team is banged up. I think they're going to kind of stumble into Baltimore. Of course, again, the message in the locker room for the Bears is going to be like, hey, look, they're looking at you guys as their get back game, right? Do not let them get back against you guys. That's what's going to be the marketing scheme coming from the coaches to the Bears personnel. For the Ravens, it's going to be like, hey, look, our backs are up against the wall. What are you going to do? What are you prepared to do? You guys know the famous Michael Irvin quote, right? That's what it is. That's what it's coming down to right now. But again, talking about specifically this health report here, I am very, very pleased to see, yes, that Lamar Jackson has practiced for the second straight day, although albeit limited, right? Jeff Zarebe tweeted earlier today that he was back on there and he did a little bit more than he did yesterday. And yesterday when he came back, Twitter exploded damn near, right? And I was part of that explosion because, without Lamar Jackson, this team is literally not competitive at all. Just not competitive. But I asked Jeff Zarebe, I asked him, I was like, hey, look, is Lamar like laboring at all out there? Like, does it look like he's limping? Is he favoring that hamstring, whatever? And Jeff got back to me and said, not from what he saw, not from what he saw yesterday. So, and obviously he's not going 100% as most players don't do in practice, especially not your star quarterback. But again, overall, very, very good news that Lamar Jackson is back in action. It gives this Ravens team and this Ravens fan base hope, right? That they can actually come back from this season. I've been on record many a times this season so far saying that, honestly, in the last week or so, saying that the Ravens can only afford one more loss, period. You lose 2 games, and you're looking at relying heavily on outside help in order to get into the postseason, right? So it starts this week against the Chicago Bears. You got to go 1-0 every single fucking week. Excuse my language, but I don't give a fuck, to be honest with you. Like, I'm at that point with this Ravens team right now. Like, you got to win. It's win or go home every single game from here on out. There's no excuses, is basically what I'm saying. The only thing that is still holding us back, right, kind of reeling us back a little bit, Nnamdi Madubuike is still not available, right? He won't be available for the rest of the season. We don't know if he's going to be available for the rest of his career, right? Based off of the things that Harbaugh was saying. Alex, do you have any feelings about that?
I mean, if you want to be realistic, he ain't coming back, I think, for his career. I think it's a career ender. There's a reason why John can't say things, obviously HIPAA, but if we're just gonna use our brains here, a neck I word, um, it just kind of happened out of nowhere. That's probably the worst thing you can imagine. I think for his own safety, he doesn't play another down. I mean, you're one more bed hit away from possibly being paralyzed for the rest of your life. So you have to
Yeah.
kind of put humanity into that aspect. I don't think he'll play again. I'm kind of setting myself up for he doesn't play again. All signs just point to that for me. Just speculating.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, the neck, there's so many nerves in
Mm-hmm.
the neck, right? It connects the head to everything else on your body. Without your neck, you can't. And I'm not even trying to like sound funny or be funny or anything like that, but like you can't do anything, right? Like if you're paralyzed from the neck down, you're basically a vegetable, right? And so like you do not want to play with that. So I would totally understand. And like again, like Harbaugh talking about HIPAA violations and things like that, that is not a good sign at all. It's actually pointing in the direction of, yeah, he's probably never going to suit up and play the game of football again on the gridiron, which I totally understand. Again, I get it. Prayers up for Nnamdi Madubuike and his family. I am absolutely just I'm so glad that he got his contract when he did. Right, I don't care at all about the dead cap, the dead money, whatever it is. Nnamdi Madubuike got paid. He got set up for what should be life. You know what I mean, depending on how manages the money. But he got paid big time, like he deserved. He played his ass off for these Baltimore Ravens. Probably never going to play again. But again, zooming out from that, I say that to say that's the only weakness, right? That's the only missing piece that you did not come into the season with. So there are no excuses. There are zero excuses, in fact, and I'm talking to specifically this coaching staff. Coming out of this break, coming out of this bye, you're fully healthy. You have Lamar Jackson back, albeit maybe he's not 100%, but you have no excuses. Again, you have no excuses. If you continue to lose games, something has to change by the end of the season. Will it? Probably not, because we all know Steve Bisciotti and how close he is to Harbaugh, Eric DeCosta, and how much of a good old boys club they are. However, again, going into this Bears game, you have to win point blank, period. You just have to. No
Yeah,
excuses.
yeah. I mean, look how we came into the year. Look at our expectations. Of course, like we're expecting to make the playoffs at minimum, win the division at minimum, and I think personally that the only way you make the playoffs is to win the division. And you saw last week the Steelers are kind of there to be taken. The Bengals right now they have their starting linebacker requesting a trade. I know it's all sunshine and rainbows right now with Joe Flacco, but we know how that experiment ends. I mean, you can call me a hater, but I'm just going to be a realist. We know how it ends. 2 to 3 good games, then he falls off a cliff.
Yeah.
It's there. Can we take advantage of what is, in front of us? I think we can. And it starts with this week. 1-0 every week. Win these next 2 games. There will be help at the trade deadline to get it. And I'm at the point now, F them picks. I'm tired of
Yeah.
it because I'm tired of seeing guys. We draft a hurt guy in Emory Jones. That could have been a contributor right now or a guy we trade for. We see other guys. We have a 4th round pick in Jalen Armour Davis, not with the team anymore. Multiple 5th, 6th, 7th round guys not with us. At this point, part ways to get a guy who you can have for this year and possibly next year, and they can help you right now, rather than wait and then just let him go to a different team for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I did want to bring up, and I saw somebody talk about this in the chat. Patrick Ricard
Mm-hmm.
is going to play his first game of the 2025 season, and I think that, and also just to kind of couple that news, the Ravens also waived Zaire Mitchell-Payton today, number 84, which is just, thank God, it's chef's kiss to me, because I was so tired of watching Zaire Mitchell-Payton not be able to block anywhere near the level of Patrick Ricard, because they were asking him to do some of the same things that Patrick Ricard would do in previous seasons, right? But he just could not do it. Kick out blocks, he's getting his face ran through, right? He can't block from the backside at all. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't good. DWAS in the chat making it rain with our first super chat donation of the episode. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. DWAS says Sean Smith is the referee on Sunday. All right, DWAS, I'll be sure to keep that in mind. I'll be sure to keep that in mind for sure.
Doesn't bode well for us. I'll just leave it at that.
It doesn't? Why not?
He was the guy we had in the AFC Championship, and he is known to be more favorable towards the away team. Lots of holdings and lots of defensive pass interferences and defensive holdings.
Mm-hmm. Well, luckily, the Ravens have not been heavily penalized this season. I think that they have the third least penalties in the league, which is pretty good, despite being 1-5, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, yeah, that does kind of concern me. That does kind of concern me. I'm not going to lie to you. But thank you so much for your super chat donation, DWAS. We appreciate you, brother, as always. We got Tanja Bowman in the house. What's going on, Tanja? Says, hey, Tila, what up, sis? Oh, that must mean Tila's in here, too. What's going on, Tila?
What's going on?
What's up, Tila? Says, Rain Gang, what up? Appreciate y'all for rolling through to this episode. If you guys are not watching live, if you're part of the hashtag replay gang, first of all, shout out to you. Thank you so much for coming through. And make sure you hit that like button, subscribe as well, and leave a hashtag replay gang comment down below in the chat and let us know what you think, your comments, questions, concerns about this episode of the show. All right. So moving on here. Let's go ahead and get into our keys to victory. How about that, Alex? Let's get into our keys to victory for this game. Let's go ahead and take the health report off here. And while we talk about our keys to victory, let's throw up an old friend. Let's throw up an old friend on the screen, right? Let's look at the trench measures, right? We used to bring this up in previous seasons, right? And we haven't done it so far, but we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back, right? Because now we have enough information, enough data underneath our belt. And this goes by ESPN and PFF. So it's a mixture. I know PFF has been under fire recently, right? But it's a mixture between ESPN and PFF. And that's why I really respect these measurements here. So when you look at this, right, Alex, like it looks like the weak spot on this Bears team is the pass rush. Because if you look in the top right, and you look at that chart there, in the bottom left, you can see the Bears logo. So their pass rush really hasn't been good by terms of ESPN or PFF. So that might be something that, something to look for. Maybe Lamar Jackson's going to have a little bit more time throwing on third downs. We never know. But Alex, I know you've been thinking about this game, just like every other Ravens fan all week, right? Give me your biggest key to victory for the Ravens to walk out of the bank with a much needed W on Sunday.
I got to be honest. I haven't been thinking about this game. I've been a lot on the soccer recently, but with Lamar coming back, I have thought about it a little bit more. And when you see that pass rush win rate, and if Lamar is there, able to get all the time in the world to throw the ball, I'm expecting a Zay Flowers, a Bateman, a D-Hop, hell, maybe a Tez Walker if D-Hop misses another practice. I'm not too sure how serious illness is. I'm not going to speculate. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, who still has not really shown up since coming back. Guys like that, I'm expecting to have big games. And I'm waiting for one of our guys outside of Zay Flowers to have a big game in the receiving area because it's kind of getting old. Short passes, and we saw 2 fumbles last game. I want something else different. I want intermediate down the field if we can just hold our blocks. And then as for just pass protection as well, looking at the Ravens, middle of the pack, not really, but good win rate, and then just the grade by PFF just isn't the best, and that's still concerning to me. I know we're looking at the Bears, I'm looking at the Ravens, and just our pass pro, a bad pass rush against an pass pro. Who's gonna win? It's like that John Cena The Rock meme. Once in a lifetime. Who's gonna be the better of the worst? And that's kind of what I'm worried about. But if you can give Lamar his protection, we know what he can do. Perfect passer rating, 4 or 5 touchdowns. And we're back. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree there, especially what you said about Zay Flowers, right? Yeah. Zay Flowers is probably going to be the catalyst for this game, and you heard it here first on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Whatever Zay Flowers' line is for receiving yards, bet the over. Bet the over. You want to know why? Zay Flowers primarily plays in the slot. right? The Bears primarily run cover two, right? How do you beat cover two? You throw passes up the seam, right? In between the safeties, in the middle of the field, the intermediate area of the field. And that's where Zay Flowers excels at running routes, sitting down in that zone, and catching passes. That's going to be the biggest key to victory for me in order for the Ravens to get a W. Maybe not the biggest, but it's going to be a catalyst. Trust me. Trust me on this one. Zay Flowers will dominate in this game. We do have another super chat donation. Chike, what's going on, Chike? Appreciate
What's
you for
up?
coming through. Appreciate you for making it rain here on this episode 345 of the Purple Rain podcast. Chike says, I'm going to be honest. I also haven't been watching a single minute of Ravens football. Alex, our Lions are getting our attention and cannot wait till they play the Packers on Thanksgiving. Run D. Henry. Alex, how do you respond to that?
A lot there, and yes, a big win for the Lions Monday night. It was weird, man. They're about a Ronald Darby away from having the 2023 Ravens secondary cornerbacks. Arthur Millette, Rock Ya-Sin,
Yeah.
might as well get Darby out of retirement. But a good win for them. I mean, their secondary is absolutely banged up. No Brian Branch suspended, and shut down a Bears offense. Obviously missing Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka banged up. Godwin didn't play, but got to beat who's in front of you. Banged up versus banged up, and they came up top. As for the Run D. Henry, yes, he had what, 50, 60 yards against the Rams the first drive. Keep one,
Mm-hmm.
keep going with Lamar back. That helps you out that much more. And will we see a Keaton Mitchell run or two? I don't want to get too hype on him because I do know you have to temper your expectations because he won't get that many carries. But change your pace back, it could be there. But yes, run Derrick Henry, 100 plus yards minimum, minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Real quick, Brandon Tillman says here Isaiah Likely is not playing, or is that
Is he
what
like
are we
not
talking about?
playing or like not playing? Because that can mean two different things.
I don't know.
Like he's
I
not
don't
playing
know.
around, or
I
he's
don't know
not
if I
playing.
missed some news or something like that. We got 140 people watching live right now, so I don't know. Somebody put it in the chat if that's true or not. I think Likely's playing. He was actually going to be a part of my Purple Rain parlay for today. Full disclosure, I got Likely getting a touchdown this week. His first touchdown of the season, in fact. So if he's not playing, then I definitely would need to know before I place that bet. Speaking of bets, there's some guys getting locked up for placing bets nowadays. We'll get into that a little bit later. On the
Yeah.
show, maybe towards the end of the show. Make sure you stick around. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. This is the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Another key to victory, Alex, for me. Another key to victory. And I saw somebody put it in the chat. I think it was my guy Taurus. Shout out to Taurus. And he does confirm that Likely is playing. Turnovers. As weird as it may seem, the Chicago Bears actually force the most turnovers in the league. They lead the league in takeaways, right? They lead the league in turnover differential. They're number one. Meanwhile, the Ravens are 31st. So literally a night and day difference. So a big key to victory for this Ravens team is going to be, flipping that script, right? Make it look like the Ravens are the one with the number one turnover differential and the Bears are the ones with the 31st. You're going to be at home, off a bye, rejuvenated. You've got your quarterback back. Your back is up against the wall. There's no excuse not to force one or two turnovers. Not to mention, Alex, you're playing against a Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, what do we know Caleb Williams to be as a quarterback so far into his career? 2 years into his career, by the way. He's got happy feet. He wants to play hero ball, right? He holds on to the football. All of those things are a recipe, quite literally a recipe for creating turnovers, right? The more you make the quarterback think, the more you make him sit in the pocket, the longer you make him do those things, the higher probability you have of turning the football over. And again, I've said this earlier this week. I think Kyle Hamilton is going to be a huge key to victory in this one. He's going to be he's going to be imperative to this Ravens defense this week. And here's why. Like we saw against the Los Angeles Rams, I wholeheartedly believe that Zach Orr is going to continue to implement the game plan of keeping Kyle Hamilton closer to the line of scrimmage. That way he can create more chaos. He can create more havoc, right? He can blitz off the edge, right? And when he's blitzing off the edge, he can get his hands up. He's tall. You know what I mean? He can get in throwing lanes, things like that. That is going to disrupt Caleb Williams. And I can guarantee you, if I could bet on this, I would. If I could bet on this, I would. Kyle Hamilton over a half a sack in this game. If I could bet on it, Alex, I would, but I can't. I know that line is probably nowhere to be found, right? However, that's what I'm going with for this weekend. A Kyle Hamilton sack. You heard it here first on the Purple Rain podcast. Those are going to be my keys to victory. The very last one is something that I mentioned before the Lions game. Continue to run Derrick Henry. Feed him. Feed Derrick Henry 20-plus carries, minimum. You're going to want to slow roll Lamar Jackson anyway in his first game back. You don't want him running a whole bunch, right? Maybe he'll run a couple of play action, some boots and things like that, but you got to set it up. My guy, Coach Evans, came on the show yesterday, and Coach said, basically use that outside zone that was working so well against the Rams. Use that as your jab. Use that as your setup punch against this Bears team, right? And then you throw your haymaker with the play action boots and things like that. And that will just put defenses in a total bind. So those are going to be my keys to victory. Alex, do you have any more for me?
I do. I'm
Okay.
looking at the linebacker play. I think our linebacker play has been below average as being nice. It's been absolutely piss poor. With the resources that we have put into this linebacking core, it's been bad. And I see Roquan Smith coming back. This is a revenge game.
Yeah.
He doesn't say it is, but let's be real, it is. You got traded away, your first game against them. Another revenge game, Chuck Pagano, former head coach of the Chicago Bears. So with those two guys, your linebacker and then your secondary coach, I want to see just the level of play elevated. I want to see us get off the field on third downs. I want to see us a 3rd and 1. I want to see us stop a 3rd and 1. Because anytime it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, cash money first down for the other offense. I want to see that. I don't want to see miscommunication. It's week 8. We're damn near halfway through the season. There's really no excuse for miscommunication anymore. And to go along with your point of Kyle Hamilton with half a sack, I 100% agree with that. Because where are our sacks going to come from? If you had to put money on one person on this team to get a sack, who would it be?
If I had to put money on it, like my money?
Yeah.
Like real U.S. dollars?
Real U.S. Somebody said, here's $50. Pick one person for me from the Ravens to get a sack. I think we have 8 sacks all year. 8 or 9.
I'm gonna go Kyle Hamilton.
Now, how embarrassing is that? You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect towards him because he is that good of a player, but Van Noy, who had double-digit sacks last year. Ojabo, 2nd round pick. Those guys are edge rushers or D tackle. Man, that sucks. But get to the quarterback and just cause some havoc, man. Just play Ravens football, Ravens defense. Not really expecting. I saw Zach Ward today said he talked with Mike McDonald over the bye week. Family talk and ball talk. Would love to hear that conversation. Would love to be the fly on the wall.
Yeah.
In whoever's room had it on speaker. We'll love to hear what they talked about. We'll love to hear what Mike was saying to Zach. Maybe he's overthinking things. Maybe that's what the trouble is. I'm not too sure. And then for an offensive, I guess, a key to victory, like you said, outside zones, but I want to see a receiver other than Zay Flowers kind of get going. It's been force feeding him, I feel like. I'm not saying Bateman because obviously I'm a fan of him. I want to see maybe DeAndre Hopkins. Tez Walker hasn't had a target since he had that long catch against the Lions down the sideline.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna flip it back on you. The question you just asked me: if I gave you $50 to bet on any Ravens wide receiver to score a touchdown in this game, who would it be?
If he plays DeAndre Hopkins.
D-Hop? Okay.
When he throws it his way, comes down with it.
And he's going to give him a chance.
I just don't trust Todd Monken's red zone play calling anymore.
I mean,
even when Lamar was there.
But you think about it though, Alex. But think about it though, Alex. Think about how bad the Ravens' red zone offense was in the last couple of years of Greg Roman being offensive coordinator. And then look at how the red zone efficiency skyrocketed the next 2 years under Todd Monken. Are you telling me that you've given up on because we've seen before him have success, and I think a lot of that, again, we talked about this earlier in the episode, a lot of that success, I don't want to say the majority, but a good amount, Patrick Ricard
Hmm.
in the red zone, down low. You can still run the ball, right? If you're not between the 20s, you can still run the football. The Ravens did it against the Rams without Patrick Ricard. And then when they got on the 1 yard line, they decided to stop using Derrick Henry. I think that Patrick Ricard coming back is going to make a humongous difference in the play calling in the red zone. Man, I mean,
I hope.
I can't. I hope. I hope. But I truly
If
do think that that's going to happen. Go ahead.
if this run game looks completely different with Ricard, like I will owe him a huge apology because I didn't know he was that important to the offense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
You know what I mean?
John Gruden calls him the straw that stirs the drink on this Ravens offense for a reason.
Hmm.
Because like he makes things go. I mean, he's kind of like an unsung hero. I'm sure we've talked about multiple times, unknowingly even on this podcast, just speaking glowingly of Patrick Ricard and all the things that he's able to do. If you guys remember, there's been entire touchdown drives manufactured off of Patrick Ricard in the past, right? So us getting that back, I mean, everybody's talking about Lamar Jackson coming back, right? And what he's going to be able to provide, as far as like a spark to this offense. And I totally agree with that. You go from 30 points a game to 6 points a game. Of course, your quarterback coming back, he's going to give you that spark. But giving you these sort of sustained drives, that's going to be another key to victory, Alex. Staying on the field. What was the only reason why the Ravens even contested with the Los Angeles Rams 2 weeks ago? The only reason they were able to compete with them, the only reason, is because they beat them in time of possession by 15 minutes. That was the only reason. They just couldn't score. They just couldn't score. But I think with Lamar Jackson, I think with Patrick Ricard as well, and what he's going to do with the running game, this Ravens offense could get back to, I mean, we'll talk about our score predictions here in just a second, but I totally think that this Ravens offense can go off. They can go nuclear in this game at home, a vengeance. You know what I mean? Like Lamar Jackson's going to want to come back and just go scorched earth, I'm sure, on the Chicago Bears. And by the way, let me mention this before we get to our score predictions. Lamar Jackson needs to win this game. Why? Not only because the Ravens are 1-5 and their backs are up against the wall. And this may seem a little trivial, but the only NFL teams that Lamar Jackson has not beaten in his career,
Mm,
the Chicago Bears
mm.
and the Green Bay Packers. You got both of them, and of course the Baltimore Ravens. But you got both of them on the schedule this season, and it starts this week against the Chicago Bears. Of course, it's a must-win. It's a gotta have it. That one against the Packers later on in the season, I think the second to last week, I want to say, that's going to be a must-win as well. But it starts with this week. You got to win this game. I know Lamar Jackson is going to want this game. The Ravens are going to want this game. Everything that we've heard in the locker room, well, not everything, but a lot of the things that we've heard in the locker room, it sounds like the mood, the vibe, right, is shifting back towards the positive direction. And a lot of that has to do with Lamar Jackson being back on the field.
It does, and you won't see many open purple seats there as well. You'll see a lot more Raven fans in the seats, butts in the seats, and a lot less empty seats. And that's kind of what I know Steve Bisciotti wants. But
Yeah.
I hope the last home game really showed him something. And the Texans game, I hope it showed him like that's your guy. If you want to make more money, you gotta build around him and keep this team good. And when he's not in there, neither will the fans. They won't come. So you want to move on to score predictions?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into some score predictions. Shout out to the WonderCon show.
What's up?
My
What's up?
guy
What's up?
Nitro over there. What's going on, man? Over 200 people watching live right now. Thank y'all so much for coming out to this episode 345 of the Purple Rain podcast. Again, I am your host Sutton Def, along with my co-host here, Simply AS10. We do go live every Monday and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you are new here and you do want to catch the show again, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Right? And like our videos as well. That helps us out a whole bunch. But score predictions. Alex, I'm going to let you go first on this one. And everybody, if you're watching live, drop your score predictions in the chat to this Bears versus Ravens game this week. If you're part of the hashtag replay gang and you're watching the replay of this episode, so you're not watching live, comment down below what you think the score prediction is going to be. But Alex, you first.
Thankfully, one of the few games that was close last week was the Bears and Saints. I was able to watch a good amount of it. The Bears look very sloppy. their offense did not look good.
Nope.
They got lucky. Spencer Rattler, year 2 quarterback, might as well be a rookie.
Yeah.
Lots of mistakes. Good field position that the Bears ended up with. Still somehow almost lost.
Mm.
31-17 Ravens.
There it is. There it is. That's what I'm talking about, Alex. That's what I'm talking about. I see some people in the chat kind of echoing that as well. Jeremiah says 30-17 Ravens. Torres, what's going on, Torres? Torres says 23-17 Bears. I mean, look, man. If you already put in the Bears +6, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man. I mean, full disclosure, I am gonna pick the Ravens to win this game. I'm gonna go. Oh man. I gotta be modest. I wanna say around what you said, but I'm thinking maybe one garbage time touchdown or something like that. I'm gonna go 38-20 Ravens. I'm gonna go 38 to
Okay.
20 Ravens. I don't know if that would
Okay.
be a scoregami or anything like that. I doubt it, but
Okay.
I'm gonna go 38-20 Ravens in this one. I just look, man, like you just mentioned, the Bears have been living off of turnovers. Last week we had Josh Berman on this very program, and he had mentioned the reason why he picked the Bengals to beat the Steelers on last Thursday Night Football was because the Steelers were living off of turnovers. Like their defense was living off of turnovers, right? So if you don't get those, like when you're getting turnovers, when you're forcing turnovers, everything is great, right? But the moment you stop, it really reveals how good your defense really is, right? When you don't kind of have the luck of the draw, because sometimes turnovers take a little bit of luck, right? Of course, there's skill to force those things and brute force and all those things, but sometimes they take a little bit of luck. If the Bears, if the Ravens rather, if they come out and they protect the football, and the Bears aren't able to just take it away, then hey man, I could totally see the Ravens running away with this one and it getting ugly fast. One more super chat donation. We have another super chat donation. This one's coming from Asmodeus. Appreciate you, Asmodeus, making it rain here on this episode 345 of PRP. Asmodeus says, I'm not worried about the Bears. I'm worried about the postseason. We've lost to almost every playoff team on the schedule. Hashtag Fire Harps 28-17 Ravens. Here's the thing, Asmodeus. I totally get where you're coming from. But the Ravens and the Ravens fans, we no longer have the luxury of saying, hey, look, we don't care about the regular season. We just don't. You know what I mean? Like at this point, you have to go 1-0 every single week. If you do not, I mean, you might as well fire up those mock drafts. Yeah. That's where we're at right now. So, you know, I do like your score prediction here, 28-17. That's a little bit more, that's around where I wanted to bet. You know, a little bit more modest, right? But I do think that the Ravens will come out a little bit angry if they do start to run away with this game. I feel like they tack on a few extra points just to kind of show like, hey, look, like we're back, right? And I think Harbaugh would dial it up that way. I think he would absolutely pile it on a Bears team if they ended up getting up, you know, pretty quickly on them. And another thing I want to mention just really quick, and we didn't mention this in the keys to victory, but stop DeAndre Swift. Stop DeAndre Swift. I mean, in the last 2 games, DeAndre Swift is averaging 7 yards a carry. Unacceptable. He's had over 100 yards in the past 2 games rushing. Yep. You have to stop him. The Ravens have been doing pretty well stopping the run in the past couple of weeks, despite not having a Nnamdi Madubuike back there. But that's going to be another big key to victory for me, Alex.
I'll be honest. I'm still kind of pissed off when they beat us in 2017. I really am. That was the last time they played in Baltimore. I don't know if you remember that game.
I remember that. I remember that game, but like what happened that game?
Jordan Howard had 36 carries that game. He made Eric Weddle his, I'm not going to curse, shrugged him off.
Made him his bitch. You can say it.
Mr. Trubisky had 16 passes the whole game. In the fourth quarter, Michael Campanaro took a punt back for a touchdown, and Nick Boyle had a 2-point conversion to tie it. And we still lost the game, 27-24. Please don't let them come in here and beat us. Do not let it happen. Last time we played them, Tyler Huntley played Sammy Watkins. That was a cool little thing. But please, this one now, don't let it happen. Lamar, get your win against the Bears, and let's just go on a run. Let's go on a freaking run, and let's see what happens. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, that's where we're at. I mean, you're looking at the basically, and I agree with what you said like maybe 30 minutes ago or so, as my light brightens and like blinds me. basically, this one is yeah, dang, I kind of lost my train of thought. Jesus Christ, what were you saying earlier? What did you just say, Alex? Say it again.
I was talking about the Ravens and the Bears. Jordan Howard had 36 carries. I don't know if that's where you're going.
Oh no. Maybe it'll come back to me. It'll come back to me.
Okay.
It'll come back to me. Over 220 people watching live right now. Thank y'all so much, and hello. Thank y'all so much for coming through to this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. We appreciate you guys for coming through. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Taurus says Devin Duvernay is gonna show out in this one.
The Devin Duvernay revenge game.
That would be something, right? That would be something. King Blaze, what's going on, King Blaze? King Blaze says the O-line is trash and the defense is trash. How can y'all still believe? I think that the defense has something to build off of coming out of the Rams game. And I know we've all talked about that at length. But when it comes to the offensive line, and here's something I want to throw at you, Alex. Todd Monken said earlier today that he doesn't expect any personnel changes, right, on the offensive side of the football, which means that you're probably going to see Ronnie Stanley, Andrew Voorhees, Linderbaum, Daniel Faalele, and Roger Rosengarten back out there at offensive line. How does that make you feel, Alex? Like, do you think that they should have went in another direction? Emory Jones is now part of the 53. How does that make you feel?
As for Emory Jones, I don't like the way he's being painted. This guy has not taken a single snap yet. He's not our savior. I want him to be, but I don't want him to, get put out there and gets put on his ass and now he's a bust. I mean, this guy has not played a snap. He didn't have training camp, didn't have preseason, nothing like that. So I'm a little worried about if he were to go out there. But you have to accept with what we had with 72 and 77. And unfortunately, I've kind of tempered my expectations, which I shouldn't do. I just kind of want to get to the playoffs and see what happens because these guys just aren't starting caliber guards. They're not. And it's a travesty that, we're letting this happen. I don't know who to be more mad at. The coach or the GM for not, getting more guys. And like I said, I know what you said last year, how it looked better. But as for Voorhees, I don't think we were expecting to be like this. Maybe a little bit of a step forward. But man, it's bad. And then Falele is Falele. He'll be on his ass a couple of times. You might get a hit tweet off of making fun of him. I'll be honest. It's gonna happen. I already have one lined up in the chamber in my drafts. I'll be honest with you. I got one line.
The fact that that's like the formula. If you're a Ravens fan and you're on X and you want to go viral, just shit on Daniel Faalele. Just shit on number 77. Clip up something, right, and you'll go viral. It's damn near guaranteed, right?
I got it. But as for us, how can I have hope? I'm delusional. I'm just gonna sit there on Sunday. Hopefully, my team wins, and I'm not gonna let it ruin my week anymore. That's what I'm happy about.
Yeah, for sure. I will say that this week watching Ravens football is gonna feel a lot different than the last 2 weeks, right? It feels like we haven't really gotten to see actual Ravens football, basically Ravens football with Lamar Jackson in a while. It's been a minute, so it'll be refreshing to see him come out there on Sunday and see what he's able to do. I don't think that the Ravens are going to, ask him to do too much in terms of using his legs, right? Obviously, because he's just coming off of that hamstring. So I think you will see him delivering a lot more throws from the pocket. And that's why, again, both of us think that Zay Flowers is going to have a big game. So, we'll go ahead and leave that there. We've already gotten our score predictions in. Again, if you didn't drop your score prediction by now, but down below in the comment section, please put it in the comment section, guys. We want to see what you guys think about this Ravens game against the Bears this week. So, that being said, I think we've talked at length about Ravens versus Bears. Ravens got to win. It's a must win. Also, maybe one other thing, Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, Zacchaeus, got to neutralize those weapons too, right?
Yeah.
But it starts up front. Getting pressure on Caleb Williams, making him feel uncomfortable, getting him off of his first, maybe second read, right? Confusing him. He's still a young quarterback. In my eyes, he's still a rookie, right? Because he's still learning. He's still learning on the job. And him and Ben Johnson are still kind of developing a relationship. Also, frustrate those two, right? Make Caleb Williams play off of script. Because what happens when Caleb Williams plays off script? Ben Johnson goes berserk, right? He hates it. He does not like that. He wants you to play in script, right? That's why he likes Tyson Bagent so much, backup quarterback for the Bears. But again, we've talked a lot about Ravens versus Bears. So let's go ahead and get into our next segment of the show, Alex, as we have over 230 people watching live right now. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you guys for coming out to this episode of the show.
Yes.
But I think it's time for some picks, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it is. And why not let's get into it?
Let's go ahead and get into some picks.
So, tonight, Thursday night football. Vikings and the Chargers. Carson Wentz, Justin Herbert. I'll go first here. Give me Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Didn't look the best against the Colts last week. I think it's a good bounce back game. I'm just not really trusting Carson Wentz tonight.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, I do think it'll be a bounce back game for the Chargers in this one. However, you got to let me know because I'm not sure. Is Joe Alt playing?
He is.
Yeah, give me the Chargers in this one.
I like it. Moving on now to the Dolphins and the Falcons. Give me the Falcons in this one. Dolphins just aren't it.
Well, hold on now. 1 second. Because I just realized something. The past 2 weeks, the favorites on Thursday Night Football lost.
Oh.
Right? So, like, I mean, because I remember it was the Eagles and the Giants. We both picked the Eagles. And then last week, it was the Steelers and the Bengals. We both picked the Steelers. Right? And now this Chargers and Vikings game, it's kind of got me in a...
Uh-oh.
I'm feeling... I don't... Man... Wentz... I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hold out this time. Because the one time I do it, it'll be the time that, the underdog actually gets their ass kicked. Right? Like they're supposed to. So give me the Chargers. Who was the next one again? Falcons and who?
Falcons, Dolphins.
Okay. No more international games, right? This isn't international, right?
No, our next international games, I think it might be the Spain one, I believe, in Madrid.
Okay. Yeah, give me the Falcons in this one. The Falcons just seemed a little bit more buttoned up than the Dolphins. Well, not a little bit, a lot more buttoned up. Everybody's more buttoned up than the Miami Dolphins right now. I mean, a total dumpster fire. I was surprised they didn't fire their coach after last week, Mike McDaniel, but they're still rocking with him. Tua got benched for Quinn Ewers last week. It's just not looking good in Miami. So give me the Falcons in that one.
The year is 2013 actually. The Ravens have just won the Super Bowl. Joe Flacco has a big contract. Tyrod Taylor, I believe, goes to the Bills or is about to leave. And it's 2025 now. Tyrod Taylor is leading the Jets against a Joe Flacco-led Bengals team. 1 p.m. CBS. Give me the Bengals in this one.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Bengals in this one. I think that Joe Flacco is in a point in his career where he's got major talent now, and he's just not realizing that, and he's not going to overthink it, right? If he wants to throw to Jamar Chase 23 times because he's the best damn receiver in football, he's going to do that. Chase is going to make plays. The Jets won't make enough to keep up. Give me the Bengals.
Next up, the Bills and the Panthers. Bills in this one. Got to win this.
Yeah, it's definitely a must win for the Bills. What are they on, a two loss streak right now? Because they just came out of their bye, just like us.
Yep.
Yeah, and the Panthers kind of frisky. You know what I mean? Like, what's their record right now? 4-3. I want to say.
Yeah, 4-3. But Bryce Young has not practiced this week.
Oh, right.
So
Who's their backup again? Oh, Dalton. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. No, give me the Bills.
All right, moving on to a little interesting 1:00 game. 49ers and the Texans in Houston. 5-2 against 2-4, but I think these teams are a lot closer, I'd say. Mac Jones starting. Good win against the Falcons last week on Sunday night for the Niners. Texans didn't look that good against the Seahawks. They really haven't looked good except against the Ravens.
Yeah.
I can see him winning this game. Am I upset? I just don't think they can stop McCaffrey. Give me the Niners.
I'm taking the Niners as well. I think the Texans are frauds. I think that they're frauds. I mean, again, like you said, the only good game they had was against a reeling Ravens team. No Lamar Jackson, decimated with I words, right? Yeah, I don't believe it. CJ Stroud still does not look like he deserves to be in that conversation of like top 10, 15 quarterbacks in the league. Yeah, no, give me the Niners in this one.
Hashtag Zach War stimulus. Moving on to the Browns and the Patriots. Give me the Patriots in this one. Drake May has been balling out. Patriots to go 6-2 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Patriots in this one too. Again, love what they have going on up there in New England. Mike Vrabel, he's everything for that team right now. And of course, Drake May is playing really solid. Yeah, give me the Patriots in this one.
And now moving on, I mean, these guys just played a couple weeks ago, the Giants and the Eagles, but in Philly this time. And I think the Eagles win this one, like I predicted a couple weeks ago. Uh, Tough loss to the Giants last week. I think they'll keep it close, but the Eagles, they'll just power away with this one.
Wait. You said Eagles and who else?
The Giants.
Oh, again?
Again, just played.
Oh, wow. Yeah. After what we saw last week from the Eagles, I think that they're going to try to build upon that, be a little bit more explosive. Jalen Hurts isn't going to miss too many throws. I know a lot of people are like shitting on Jalen Hurts this year. Oh, he can't throw. The Eagles offense, they're nothing without the tush push and things like that. But no, bro. This is a guy who I confidently said after the Super Bowl last season was a top 5 quarterback. He may not be top 5 as of right now today, but he's going to get better. This Eagles team is going to hit, their surge. They're going to hit their streak soon here in the season. I think it starts with this Giants team. Give me the Eagles.
Yes. Next up, nice NFC South matchup. Buccaneers Saints 4 o'clock window in New Orleans. Doesn't matter. I don't care if Mike Evans is hurt. Buccaneers for me.
You said I'm sorry, Bucks and who?
The Saints.
The Saints. Yeah, definitely give me the Bucks. Definitely give me the Bucks. No brainer.
Titans and Colts Indy to go 7-1.
Yeah, definitely give me the Colts. I mean, the Colts are running away with that division and damn near the AFC. They're gonna have to start dropping some games here soon if anybody else wants a shot at that 1 seed. Can you imagine the AFC playoffs running through Indianapolis? Like you said, what year is it again? Wake me up. Yeah,
I
what's
see
up?
maybe 3 losses on their schedule coming up. I see them dropping into the Steelers, maybe the Chiefs or the Niners. It goes Titans, Steelers, Falcons, Chiefs, Texans, Jags, Seahawks, Niners, Jags, Texans.
Well, I do think that the Colts will beat the Steelers. Only reason I say that because I think that the Steelers, I believe they play Green Bay this week. Is that correct? Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. Meanwhile, the Colts are basically getting a semi-bye by playing the Tennessee Titans, who are not good at all, right? And then the Colts and the Steelers will meet next week. Steelers might stumble into that one, and they might start to go on a little bit of a skid, But yeah, like who are we talking about? The Colts and who else again?
Colts, Falcons.
Colts, yeah, Colts, yeah.
Colts, Chiefs.
Or no, I'm sorry. What pick were we on? My bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the Colts and Titans this week.
Yeah, definitely Colts. Definitely Colts.
All right, cool. Next up, the 4:25 window, and the final game. I'm sorry. I think maybe the best game of the week. I'd say the Cowboys and the Broncos. 4:25 in Denver. Denver flying high from that comeback last week, and the Cowboys absolutely putting belt to ass on their rival Commanders. This is a good game.
Yes.
I believe the Broncos are favored. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys in this one. I think CD and Pickens are going to be too much. I know they have PS2, I think is the best corner in the league, but Hardy no guard both of them. So I'm going to take the Cowboys as my upset this week.
I'm going to go with the Broncos in this one. I'm going to take the Broncos. For me, this one comes down to, because I think it'll end up being a shootout. So for me, it's going to come down to who has the better pass rush, who can step up when need be. And to me, that's Nick Bonito and the Broncos. So give me the Broncos in this one.
Right now, our Sunday night game, the Packers and the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers against his former team. This is a very interesting game because the Packers, I don't know if you watched the game against the Cardinals, they weren't impressive at all. They almost lost Jacoby Brissett. Steelers obviously lost last week to the Bengals. This is a tough one. I think A-Rod gets the win over his former team. I don't want him to, but I think he does.
What a prediction, man. After watching Chase Brown do what he did to the Steelers defense last week, I don't know, man. I'm thinking the Packers and that run game comes in there and they surprise some folks. I think Jordan Love has a really good performance in prime time. This will be good because it's not every day you get to watch the Packers in prime time, right? I believe they played in prime time earlier this year against the Commanders. I want to say that was a pretty good game. Their pass rush looked relentless. Their defensive line was awesome in that game. Give me the Packers in this one, man. Give me the Packers.
Okay. And now, wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be Steelers drop into a 4-3? Oh,
yeah.
So they'd be tied with the Bengals, or the Bengals maybe might overtake. I think. Yeah, the Bengals would be tied. I'm sorry, tied. All right, moving on to Monday night. Commanders Chiefs. Picking the Chiefs. No Jaden Daniels. I'm not gonna think twice about this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chiefs as well. I mean, the Chiefs look like, hey man. I mean, we can talk about the Colts all we want. I
Yeah,
think that the Chiefs are the best team in the league right now. You know, that defense is playing well. Spags has got them playing really well, as usual, as expected. Patrick Mahomes is starting to hit his stride. He's an MVP candidate. Rashee Rice had 2 touchdowns in his first game. Hollywood Brown is a very good supplemental piece in that offense as well. And you still got Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, the speed demon. Give me the Chiefs in this one. They look like they're getting ready to go on another run this year.
I'll tell you this: Brashard Smith, their backup running back, catches balls at the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out for him in January. He's gonna be that guy who's gonna have a big game in the playoffs. Like, wow, where did they get him? 7th round pick, SMU. He's made some plays for them. But
Got it.
that's our week 8 NFL predictions. Feel free to, combine them together, maybe round robin them. See what you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely see what you can do with those week 8 picks. I think we did pretty good this week. I mean, I
Yeah,
think that the NFL season is getting to that point where like you can start to kind of more accurately predict the games. You know how it normally is, Alex. Like how we do this in season. In the beginning of the year, it's kind of like a crapshoot, right? You're really gambling. You know, and we're gonna get into this gambling topic here in a second. But now, week 8, you're kind of like not all the way on the back half of the season, but you're about to start the second half of the season. You kind of have a good idea of what the lay of the land is, right?
yes,
So
yes.
of course we
Well,
still do have our purple. Go ahead, go ahead.
well,
What you got for me?
no. Well, speaking of gambling, just to
Yeah,
segue, you mentioned
yeah,
something today.
I did.
Some arrest happened. Some
Yeah,
cuffs on wrist.
yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So it was early this morning. I was in bed wiping the crust out of my eyes, right? And I get a notification across my phone, and it says that NBA player Terry Rozier has been arrested, right? And he's been investigated for a while, but they actually made an arrest this morning, for sports betting. Basically, like, of course, he's an athlete, and he was basically telling his buddies, like, "Hey, look, like, bet my unders tonight. I'm purposely gonna act like I'm hurt, so all of you guys can cash out." And apparently, he did that. And the winnings, somebody bought $200,000 and delivered it directly to his house, right? And then you also have Chauncey Billups, former Detroit Piston, famously. And now he's the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. Just coached the game last night, which was so crazy to me because I was watching that Portland Trailblazers versus Timberwolves game last night, and after it ended, I'm looking at Chauncey Billups on the sideline, and I'm like, oh shit, that's Chauncey Billups. I grew up with Chauncey Billups. I grew up watching him. I was like, good to see him. Hope he's doing well, right? Little did I know, 8 hours later, I'd wake up to a notification saying that he got arrested for being part of some sort of like, poker ring, illegal poker ring that had to do with the mafia and this and that. It's a lot of shit going on, Alex. And I only think that this is like the tip of the iceberg, right? I think that they're cracking down on all these NBA guys, and the NBA season just started, by the way. I think they're eventually going to start cracking down on some NFL guys too. But when you heard this news, Alex, what did you make of all of it?
I was shocked, man. I know the Terry stuff was. How do I put this? It wasn't out of nowhere because I know they mentioned it, and I know there was some fishy stuff, but I just put it up. His
Yeah.
career earnings, 160 million. Get with a financial advisor, invest the money, and if you really want to help out some people, you can help them out with the investments.
Yeah.
Or you give them money now and invest it. But to risk now your career, which is over, going to jail, and just your whole career be tarnished, it's not worth it. As for Chauncey Billups and this mafia thing,
Yeah.
that's deep. I don't
Mm.
really, I haven't wrapped my head around that one yet. The mafia, and I saw they had like certain glasses for poker to see the hands of other guys' cards.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
it's like some mirrors, I think, something like that. It was very,
I heard about like
very intricate.
RFID trackers and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I
yeah,
man,
and like
I
you
don't
said,
know. Go ahead. Yeah.
tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not to be devil's advocate, kind of blame the leagues for this one.
And that's where I
NBA
was gonna go
sponsored by
next.
DraftKings. Get
Yeah.
this no sweat. And why am I seeing Shaq on here with? I'm not Shaq, LeBron and Kevin Hart for DraftKings commercials. I know it's not
Yeah.
NBA, it's NFL, but you kind of brought this on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree, man. And that's what I was gonna ask you next. Like, ethically, morally, right? Do you think that it's in the best interest of the sports itself? I mean, so I'm talking across all sports, like football, um, basketball. I'm talking soccer. I'm talking UFC. I mean, everything, right? Like, what does this mean, and how does it make you feel in terms of like what the future may look like for sports if sports betting continues to be such a huge part of it?
I don't like it. I think the first time I was introduced to it, I think was UFC and DraftKings. That was the first time I heard about it.
Hmm.
And then I think it was 22. I want to say it got, yeah, around 22 because that's the World Cup. It got legalized here in Maryland. And ever since then, I feel like it's just blown up.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've watched games differently because of it. I'm not going to sit here and lie
Yes.
about it. I definitely have. I've looked at games differently because of it. I kind of miss how I watched the game before it. I'm not a big fan of the way it's going.
Yeah, I can definitely agree there, and it's sad, right? It's kind of sad that like the I don't know how could you say like just like kind of like the blissful and the innocent nature of watching and enjoying sports has kind of been corrupted by big business as big business normally does corrupt things. Not just sports betting, but in a whole bunch of other industries as well. But like it's sad because, like you said, you can be watching an NFL game or a basketball game or a UFC fight or what have you, and literally every other commercial, they're trying to get you to pull out your smartphone, which you're probably already on during commercial anyway, and they're trying to get you to download an app, right? And they're trying to get you to deposit money so you can feel like you have a chance of winning more money. And like you said, it makes you look at the games a lot differently. I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. There are times where, I'm like, oh, Thursday night football is coming on tonight, or Monday night football, or there's this basketball game, or there's this UFC fight, or this soccer. And I'm like, you know what? I want to watch this game, but you know what will make it just a little bit more interesting? Putting some money on it and like having the opportunity to not only enjoy the game for what it is, but also have the opportunity to potentially win big money, right? And in that process, somewhere, you lose the enjoyment of the game itself, right? Because all you're doing is just holding your phone out and waiting for the next prop bet to hit,
Yeah.
right? So just kind of like psychologically as a sports fan, it definitely does, it puts a damper on things. But kind of zooming out from that and getting back to this whole case and everything, man, Alex, you know how much money there is in the National Basketball Association, right? So imagine how much money is in the National Football League and how much money could potentially be being tampered with, played with, and the bets and whatnot being fudged. Like it could get very scary very fast. And I'm honestly like, it kind of scares me for where we're heading. Like I don't want the next report to come out and be like, oh well, yeah, this NFL team, a bunch of players were, you know what I mean? Like I don't want that for our sports. I think it just kind of ruins again the innocence and like just the enjoyment of watching the games.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, listen, I'm a nobody, but I've turned down, for my main channel, gambling stuff because I don't think it's right for me. I know there's kids under 21 watching. I don't want to introduce them to that. I
Mm,
think it's just the worst thing possible, and I do it, but I'm thankfully not addicted. I say, I don't have to watch a game and say, oh, I gotta put money on this. And when
yeah,
you feel like you have to watch a game and put money on it, that's when the problem is at.
yeah,
And
for sure.
even the Ravens Stadium, I think they have a whole thing sponsored by what, Caesar Sportsbook.
Do they?
Yeah, it's one of the hangout groups. I think it's sponsored. I think DraftKings or Caesar Sportsbooks.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
just
think you're right. Yeah,
that's how big
yeah,
it's gotten, and
yeah.
not really. I don't really like the way it's going, but how about this? How about this? I'm gonna count on one of the uh, commercial breaks tonight how many gambling ads there are, or you do it too.
Mm,
Count how
yeah,
many. Even the
yeah.
first quarter, count.
Mm. Over under 6.5 gambling commercials in the first quarter.
As we set a line.
Right. Oh my
Great timing.
gosh, you can't make this
I'm
stuff
taking
up,
the
man.
over. I'm hammering it.
You're hammering the over. I mean, I would hammer over 6.5. I'd hammer that too.
And make sure
Speaking of
you
hammering
tell
overs and unders, go
yeah,
ahead.
and
Yeah.
make sure you tell Andrew Whitworth same game parlay as well. They talk about before the game. It's yeah, it's
They even give you pre-made parlays like, hey, take your money and go bet on what I'm telling you to bet on right now. You could win, but this is huge business, right? So we're gonna make sure one of those legs, just one of them, misses. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I told you, but like you and a lot of the fans know, I live in Texas now, and of course, sports betting is not actually legal in Texas, but they do still allow you to do daily fantasy sports.
Mhm.
Guess what they just dropped?
What they
Guess what they
drop.
just came out with? They came out with a new version of FanDuel, an extended version of FanDuel called FanDuel Picks, right?
Mm.
It's basically FanDuel, but it's strictly for daily fantasy sports. So it's like a loophole to get around it. So literally anywhere you are, and they have, the promotions and things like that for new customers and all that. So basically anywhere you are, whether or not it's legal or illegal in your state, you can find a way to gamble on sports. And I think that's what the report earlier today said, in the last year, Americans have spent over $184 billion. That's what they be, $184 billion waging on sports. It's insane. It's insane. However, however, we would be remiss if we didn't get into our final segment of the show, which is something that we have a lot of fun with, right? Because you can also have a lot of fun with doing this and kind of predicting and whatnot. But it makes you realize, the little disclaimer that they put at the bottom of the screen, please gamble responsibly. We got to start putting that on ours. We're going to start putting that on ours as well. So we can, and we're going to start saying it more. Please gamble responsibly, guys. If you're using your money, your hard-earned paycheck to bet on sports, do it within your means, please. And do not let it become a problem. That's from our heart to you, So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our Purple Rain parlay
Yes.
segment.
Yes. So we're here, and I already have it. Sorry, I have it fired up. The old FanDuel. When I have Isaiah Likely, anytime
Okay.
touchdown, put in there plus 290 just for you, son. Just for you.
Okay. I love it. I love it. Look, I think that we should go for a long shot this week. It's been tough, this entire week, but look, fresh start to the season, off of the bye, and some fresh picks. So I'm gonna go with the Isaiah Likely touchdown. If you want to take that straight, I totally understand. If you want to parlay it and you're feeling frisky, definitely understand there as well. Of course, remember to please gamble responsibly. But I do like Isaiah Likely for a touchdown in this one.
Okay. And you mentioned Zay Flowers. His over/under 66.5.
That's a good line.
That's
That's
a
a
great
damn
line.
good line from Vegas.
That's a
Yeah.
fantastic line. So the only guys we have now for receiving is Rome, Zay, DJ Moore, and Mark Andrews. Nobody else.
Okay.
No Bateman. No Likely. Hell no Colston Loveland for them, or tight end.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I am still willing to put the over on Zay Flowers. Of course, we're never going to bet Zay Flowers touchdown because that's just not really what he does, right? You know what I mean? Like, he'll probably end up with like maybe 5 touchdowns on the season, something like that. I think he has 1 so far. Am I correct in that? I think just 1.
The
2
Bill.
tops,
Oh,
but
sorry. The Bills game he had 1, and
I mean,
I think that was it.
yeah. I mean, they've only scored 1 touchdown the last 2 weeks, so it shouldn't be that hard, right? Yeah, so just one touchdown. But I'll still take the over on his receiving yards, over 66.5. I'll take that.
Now, next up, I'm looking here at Lamar Jackson touchdown,
Okay.
and 2+ minus 188. I think he hits that.
Passing touchdowns, right?
Passing, yes.
And you said minus 188?
Yes.
3+
is plus 200. But when you have a Derrick Henry in the backfield, you know he's going to get the carries in the red zone, especially with Pat Ricard back.
For sure. So okay, so you said 2+ touchdowns for, appreciate the sub, Liam.
Thank you.
You said 2+ touchdowns for Lamar Jackson was minus 188. Please tell me what the field goal line is for Tyler Loop, and can you parlay that?
It is not in yet.
Oh, it's not in? Okay,
we
gotcha.
do not have it.
Because I would take the over on made field goals from Tyler Loop. He's been phenomenal all season. Only missed 2 kicks, I believe, to this point, which is amazing for a rookie. He has definitely filled the shoes of Justin Tucker for the most part so far. And I think that this Ravens offense coming out of the bye week, maybe they come out a little bit slow. I don't want to say slow, but like maybe they come out hot in the drive stalls. I could see over 1.5 field goals for Tyler Loop. Whenever that pops up, whenever you might be listening to this, check it if you do want to place a bet on that. Again, gamble responsibly. But I like Tyler Loop over 1.5 field goals. But do you want to take the Lamar 2+ touchdown passes? Because I'll go with it if you go with it.
Mm, mm. I mean, we're at a plus 668 right now. 661. I like it. I think I like it so much because we have Lamar throwing one likely, and I think I think D Hop might get one. You have Bait. I think Andrews is due for one.
Yeah.
I think it hits. It could
Yeah.
be Zay. It could be a Zay 70-yard touchdown. Who knows?
Sam in the chat says Lamar 2+ touchdowns is worth it. Hey, shout out to Sam. I'm gonna stick with it. I like that. So read them back to us again.
Isaiah Likely, anytime touchdown score. Zay Flowers, over 66.5 receiving yards. Lamar Jackson, 2+ passing touchdowns.
I like
Three-legged.
I like it. Plus what again?
661.
There you go. See, I like that. I'm gonna rock with that. For this week. So yeah, again, if you do want to put a little sheen, you want to make it rain a little bit on a parlay. Again, of course, please gamble responsibly. But that is our Purple Rain parlay for the week.
Yes. And that is going to do it for the Purple Rain podcast. Tell you what, son, I want to be here on Monday with a nice Purple Rain podcast victory edition. It's been way too long. Way too freaking long.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'm right there with you, brother. 5 weeks since the Ravens have gotten a W. Totally unacceptable. I will say this before we get out of here. UFC 321 is this weekend. And I just want to say, it's going to be a big fight. Heavyweight Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane in the main event. You're going to want to watch that fight. Why? Because I firmly believe if Tom Aspinall wins that fight tonight, you'll see him next year on the UFC White House card, which I'm excited to watch. In July, it's going to be a big one. I don't know if he'll be fighting John Jones, Alex Pereira, whoever, maybe a Francis Ngannou, but definitely check out that fight as well. And as you guys know, the UFC is moving over to Paramount and CBS. So Tom Aspinall winning this fight would pretty much guarantee that he's going to be on the January card, which is going to be the inaugural card of the UFC being on CBS and Paramount, which is going to be absolutely huge. So if you want to start following the UFC, this weekend is a good weekend to do it with a great champion and Tom Aspinall. I'm picking him to win by first round knockout. Make sure you guys check it out.
There it is. I think it's gonna be a good card this week. I mean, UFC, man, it's like every weekend, always something to watch. Freaking love it. But episode 345 of the Purple Rain podcast. Thank you for everybody coming out, commenting, liking, hell, replay gang, typing down there. Thank you.
Replay gang.
As freaking always, man. Stay positive. As negative.
Yes. And never, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. This has been episode 345 of PRP. We're going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.